down the steep and rocky road to the pounding Pacific, at Palos Verdes, California, is a natural water playground that offers the thrill of a high-wire act, plus the zip of a roller coaster. As pretty a shoreline picture as can be found, curves to the right and curves to the left. What look like streamlined breadboards are really surfboards, light and durable, built to ride the waves like a water toboggan. All you have to do is hitch your surfboard to a wave, take a deep breath, and then be gone with the wind and the waves.
I haven't been punished by it yet. We don't know if it's decent or not. It might be a naughty swell. Yeah, you see, if you sit inside here, right at the peak of that white water, that's where I'm going to be. Because I'm going to paddle my brains out and miss them all. It's soft today,
I'm
but
going
nice.
out just to cut you off.
I know that.
I first started surfing the Cove in the winter of 1969, and I was taken out by one of the older guys, this guy named Jim Irons, and we paddled out on a pretty big day, and I was scared, and I ended up getting a big wave though, and from then on I was just totally hooked on it. I remember just paddling out, walking out over the rocks and just feeling the eel grass, kind of freaking me out.
It's just good, clean fun for these water babies who like nothing better than to be rolled in the cradle of the deep. It's an all-wave hookup with old Devil Sea that takes these surf riders from coast to coast. Here's a fellow who's using his head to get along in the world. Surf riding is an excellent test of balance. Take, for example, this young lady. The right wave comes along, and with a bit of knee action, she's on. She's off. She gets her balance.
Palos Verdes. I started going to Palos Verdes as a very young boy. My dad loved free diving, and he'd go lobstering off the coves there. And I'd wait on the rocks, and I'd chase these little rock crabs. They were so cool to me. They were like little prehistoric monsters. So I've been going to Palos Verdes since I was like 5 or so. Not living there, but always going there. And about 15 years I've been surfing there. Palos Verdes is just the greatest breaks, though I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. It's a very high level of surfing crowd and low tolerance for kind of bungling around. And I've worked my way into the lineup by good manners and etiquette and decent surfing, so they tolerate me there. It's a gorgeous spot, but you cannot blow the takeoff because what awaits you is crusty rocks and then the humiliation of having to hobble in with what remains of your board. But it's got challenge, clean water, high level of surfing, high expectation. It's great. It's like training for the Olympics. I love Palos Verdes.
Yeah, first time surfing Palos Verdes Cove. So this is where California surfing actually started in the 20s and 30s. And you can kind of see why the lineup's a little similar to Waikiki. So really soft, mushy kind of wave. You definitely need a longboard to get into them. So I was riding this Herbie Fletcher 8.0 super tanker, and I got a few nice rides. And yeah, beautiful spot. Reminds me of Hawaii or something down here. So I'm definitely coming back. I think this will be my new wintertime break.
Rolling surf does all the work. The idea is simple. Just relax completely. There's a new thrill watching these high-riding surf riders take the crest of the wave. An age-old South Sea custom brought up to date. For landlubbers who want to go down to the sea, there's nothing like an ocean-going ironing board, riding a permanent wave that never loses its curl.
I love PV Cove because the waves are just so fun. Everybody's so nice out there. It's beautiful, water's warm. The walk down here is amazing. There's so much history behind the cove. I go to school in Boulder right now, but when I'm home I surf anytime there's surf, probably every weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
It's pretty tiring today. It's been a while since we've had waves this size. So I haven't been out in like a month or so because it's been kind of small. So coming out today with it as big as it is pretty out of shape. It's like paddling, if you don't do it all the time, you lose it quickly. So in a week and it'll be nothing, and then you come the week after, it'll be like, 7, 8 feet.
No, it's really super fun. Water's super warm. I love this place. Just a friendly longboard, wave sometimes, shortboardable.
Yeah, it's great old school surf here, man. This is where they surfed in the 30s. This is where all the real action was before World War II. So it's a lot of fun. The original California Surf Club was the Palos Verdes Surf Club. This is like 1935. So before anyone even knew Malibu existed, before there was really a San Diego surf scene, the original surf scene that came out of Waikiki Beach when all the Beach Boys came back here was right here in this cove. So from like 1935 to kind of World War II, maybe a little later, this was where all the action was. And the original first surf club of any type was the Palos Verdes Surf Club, the guys in the 30s and 40s. It was long before Malibu or any of those breaks. So this is the original California surf spot.
Rolling surf does all the work. The idea is simple. Just relax completely. There's a new thrill watching these high-riding surf riders take the crest of the wave. An age-old South Sea custom brought up to date. For landlubbers who want to go down to the sea, there's nothing like an ocean-going ironing board, riding a permanent wave that never loses its curl.
Great waves, great time, great people, great place to surf.
These rocks are painful. It's probably the worst part of surfing here is getting out. Your feet are numb, you can't feel the rocks, and they sort of jab you like Joe Frazier in the 8th round. And all that paddling, Eric. But I wouldn't do it any other way. What a great time.
I found this great material because my roof leaked when I bought this house 7 years ago 4 times, and I was cursing the roofer. And then I was up there one sunny day before a rainstorm with a little time to kill. I went, now this is something really special. So since then, it's become one of the cornerstones of the materials I use. It's a beautiful black, and as you thin it up, it gets coffee, and then as you thin it more, it becomes tea. Now and then I have a piece that I'm not sure where it's going, which is great. And at the same time, because I don't know where it's going, it's not precious. So I'm free to experiment. In a way, this is started off loosely based as the idea of catching love like a wild species, that whatever fish, animal, terra firma, aqua, doesn't matter. We capture these things, and whatever the final reason is, may not be apparent at the time, but we can't keep them. We put them in these cages, these tanks, and we want to look at it and marvel at it, but it doesn't stand for that because it's free. So this is my commentary on a love that did not work out.
The hardest part about painting is getting the paints out and deciding you're going to paint that day. You lose yourself in it, take yourself out of the equation and just fall into it. For good painting or good surfing, I think they have a lot of mutual things going on that make for good surfing. One of them's courage, you know, and I guess it makes other people feel good. They see one of your paintings and they fall in love with it. Or you capture, say, a portrait of someone's daughter. I did a portrait of a friend of mine's sister, and after I painted it, it really captured something about her, something in her eyes. And after I painted it, she was killed in a traffic accident. And her mother was so grateful that I had captured her daughter in that painting, more than even a photograph. She was pretty touched, you know. Here's like a natural sponge, which they're really actually underwater plants, as you know, and they make great like stamp tools. If you want to draw plants, you just use them, dip them in paint, and use them as stamps, and they look very organic. And those are tricky to find one that I like, that has the right texture to it. So this is a tile I did of breaking wave, and this is one of my favorite subjects is waves and foliage, like a land seascape. And I did it with underglazes and with white glaze, and it's painted with a very small brush. Yeah, I've been making these since the 70s, and a lot of people have these. I've been doing art shows with these.
So this is one of my prized possessions. Surfers know that prized possessions are often very well used. This is a great McChrystal board that was bartered for a painting by Ron J. of the Dogtown and Z-Boys. I used to surf with them every morning at Topanga, pre-dawn, and then at first light we'd all paddle in and I'd go give my son breakfast. But this is a super board. It's like a little Maserati. I started doing this drawing on boards in about 2005, just after I met Scott Anderson over at Aquatech. I was given his name because I dinged my board, actually the Ron J board, so much surfing it at Topanga. I needed a new board, and they said, you need to go talk to him, he'll make you a great board. So I went and saw him, and I said, what do you got that'll paddle me in easy and then be like a Maserati? And he said, these Pescado boards. They're short, wide, thick. They're like the Hull technology, super fast, super loose. And I was talking to Skip Engblom, who's this glasser and repair guy, again of Dogtown fame, Zephyr Surf Team. And he said, you should use Posca pens on these, because Posca does not bleed when you put the gloss coat over the drawing. I talk about my heritage, where I love to surf. It's a board as crest of arms, so when you're carrying it, you're carrying your history visible to onlookers.
What it is, it's a what you call a classic chambered balsa. I was done, it was the 4x4 planks of balsa wood were glued, and then in certain areas where these wood stringers are, they were only partially glued, Then after it was pretty close to being finished shaped, you split it open and break off the chunks, and then you take a router with a long bit in it and you hollow it out in different sections, leaving like solid bulkhead sections every foot. Once you've chambered it, you glue it back together with glue, and we use old inner tubes from bicycles for clamps because the clamps would dent the wood, so we just use like big rubber bands and re-glue it and then finish shaping it, and then the fiberglasser puts the coat of fiberglass and resin and puts the fins on it and sands it and finishes it up. It's an old tradition that was kind of developed in Hawaii. There's some old craftsmen that passed the information to me and taught me how to make it, and that was a really incredible experience, getting to know my heroes growing up as a shaper. This is my logo, and how this was done was with redwood veneer, and the balsa wood was dug out a little bit to the shape of these three stripes, and then the veneer fit inside smoothly and was sanded flush underneath the fiberglass.
So where does the Trident logo come from? Where did you come up with that?
From the Fountain of Neptune there in the Malaga Cove Plaza, Palos Verdes. He's holding a trident, and we figured that would be a great thing for our logo to be.
What was the first wave that you got on this board like?
Well, it was a big wave. It was about a 15-foot wave, and as I dropped in, it was really hard offshore, and the wind was blowing through my hair, and I got like the shakes from the coldness. And then as I bottom turned, the whole wave collapsed and spit out, and I was traveling in this fog of spray, and I traveled up and over the wave, and that was it. That was an incredible feeling for the first ride. It was in Palos Verdes.
There was a nice little middle peak between where everybody sits over there, and that's what I like to do when I go out a place and there's people on the peaks. I'll get the second spot to myself because it's even more critical usually, and you get a nice little ramp to work on, and that's what I did today. But then again, point breaks are good too when you just wait your turn and get a really great ride. It's really fun. It's like skateboarding ramps out there. This is your standard fiberglass and foam board. This is made by Scott Anderson of Aquatech. It's a hull. Yeah, it's a hull, and this is my 5th or 6th one, and they just work super because not being in the condition I should be, it gives me the paddle ability to kind of get in position with all the kids scurrying around me because it's got volume and float.
My carbon fiber cork deck caneberry from Florida. It's called a buzz cunt, and thing serves crazy good.
Nice. That's cork, right? That's cork. That's like recycled material.
You don't wax it, and it works beautifully too. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, it does. You could actually make that drinking wine and things.
Your toes. You could have
it's fantastic.
Is it nipple rashy though?
Pull it out and get some wine.
That's right. It's a cork. It's one big cork.
Yeah.
Opening bigger wave for the season, so I got eaten a few times. So
well, there's some good,
there's definitely some size. Yeah, it was good. There was some good lefts that really bowled up, and but you get stuck on the shallow reef over here, but you had to loop around. So It was fun. Mike Purpose is out there and watching him.
Was that Mike Purpose?
Yep, yeah, watching him get his.
Without the wetsuit?
He had a white shirt on, yeah. Yeah, he was out there. It's always good to see him get off and him yelling, "Go, man, go, go!" You know?
I had fun. Did you have fun? Yes. You did? What was wrong?
It was too cold.
Too cold? Did you hear We started surfing. Well, I started surfing when I was 10, but he started surfing when he was 4. Is that the first time you got on your surfboard? 4? You think?
Surfing, when it came to California, that was one of the first hubs where the waves broke in a certain way that the big clunky boards that they had, that were like big hollow, big cigar box type boards, they were like these gentle rollers that reminded them of Waikiki. And so you know, some of the surfers in the 20s started surfing there, and there was a very renowned surfing club called the Palos Verdes Surfing Club, and some of the members are still alive. Denny Tompkins, Joey Smoot, Tom Bennett, the Irons brothers, all these old guys that were really good surfers. I remember as a child just seeing them out there.